everyone! So apparently I can get a bit annoying when I'm watching TV or films with people because I will constantly be commenting on the costumes, the set dressing, the props, all that kind of stuff. So I figured rather than inflict that on everyone I know locally, I'll inflict that on you. Lucky you. So I'm going to start with the Netflix's Witcher series because, as you can see, I'm making a costume from it at the moment, and there's quite a lot of really nice costumes in there. Now this will have a lot of spoilers for the Witcher series right up through to the season end, so do be aware of that. And it will have my own opinions, so deal with that, I guess. I guess the most iconic thing really of it to start with is the Witcher medallion. I've got mine on now. And I think this was one of the hardest bits for me to kind of get used to in the series because I love the game, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and the medallion in that is really quite something. It's quite dramatic, it's quite memorable. And obviously they changed it a lot for the Netflix series, for good reason. I know they were trying to keep stuff to be very different. If anything, I do think this design is a lot more practical. The game design is really pointy and it's actually kind of uncomfy to wear. You know, you can see in the Netflix series that Geralt kind of even sleeps with the medallion on, and if you're sleeping with that spiky lump of metal, it's not that nice. I am looking forward to seeing how they do the other school ones. I'm sure it'll be a very similar design, but the cutout is a really nice detail, and I'm looking forward to seeing if they do different cutouts and slightly different bits for the other schools. As for the rest of Geralt's design, this is where he does look really similar to everything else, but I guess that's kind of inevitable for a main character who is actually really well described. He is one of the less interesting characters in this for costume. He has the same armour from the start to finish. It is modular, so sometimes you see him without the arms or without certain pieces, but it is, as far as I can tell, the same suit of armour. Now, it's probably for good reason. I think that would take a long time to make. I mean, it would be quite simple if you wanted to make it. It's leather panels or faux leather and then lots of studs or rivets. But I can see why they wouldn't want to make loads of slightly different versions of that. On the other hand, his underclothes, his jerkin, his shirt and trousers are really interesting. They look plain black, but they've all actually got these lovely little details, like the trousers have these embossed leather panels down the side, the shirt has detailing, the jerkin actually has a full embossed pattern as well as a really interesting panel design on the back. Those bits would actually be a lot more hassle, I think, to make than his armour, if you wanted to go for them accurately. Those are the usual things where I don't go for accuracy. I will have some kind of panel down the sides, but I wouldn't necessarily go for the exact same panel as his trousers have. I wouldn't go for that exact design, because you'd need to get that custom embossed or custom printed, depending on what material you were going for. So yeah, I'd approximate those, but they are gorgeous designs to see in TV shows like this. And, you know, whoever says black on black detailing doesn't work, they're wrong. Now, Yennefer's outfits are the ones I really love talking about, and in fact I haven't stopped talking about them since it came out, really. In fact, yes, that is what I'm trying to make currently. I both love and hate her wardrobe in this. There's a lot of symbolism, of course, with the whole bound and caged aspect, and I do think they ram it down people's throats just a little bit too much. Although I do like that some outfits, like her dragon hunting coat, there's none of that symbolism. I do wonder, you know, is that a nod that she's trying to get her own way then? I am disappointed in a few of her outfits. Some I just think don't suit her wonderfully. Some with the symbolism, I thought, like her post-transformation outfit, that gorgeous dress. She's got the the bracelet on her wrist, and that piece coming down across her hip and waist, and I really thought they were joined. I really thought we had that subtle nod there, but they aren't, and it just seems like a little bit of a waste. I feel like if I was to ever cosplay that, which I might repurpose that dress for, I might join them just because. Otherwise, yeah, some of her outfits don't look the best to me. I don't think they're really very flattering. I think that outfit, her first outfit, and her, shall we say, party dress from the gin outfit, they are really flattering on her. The other ones, she's got really quite wide shoulders put into a lot of the outfits, which is weird because that's often considered a masculine trait, and she's obviously trying to regain a very feminine trait. So I thought that was a weird choice. I'm not sure that it's very flattering. They are, however, beautifully made. I do have to say that. They are stunningly made. I think the only exception for me is this black and white outfit with the laser cut black over the white base, where on the back the pattern is just higgledy-piggledy. Now I'm not a stickler for pattern matching by any means, but the pattern on this is so kind of in your face and so intricate that I think it does need to be matched slightly better, and I think that's just a little bit of a shame. However, on a general note about her outfits, I am pleased that they moved away from the black-white monotone. Now, I'm not saying that they've given her loads of colour, but if you look at it, she's actually wearing a lot of greys, a lot of gold details, and a lot of creams. I think this is really a smart move because plain black and white does not look very good on a lot of people. It can look very harsh, and it gives a very set, one kind of look to her. So I think actually having those other tones in there really works. And then there's this. Yes, okay, I really want to like this dress. I really do. I mean, it's her finale dress. It's so innovative to have a dress made out of rope. But I just can't like it. I just can't. And I really, really want to. I mean, the torso. I love the torso on this. The rope follows the pattern of the torso, and it's got the stripes, and oh, it's beautiful. And then there's the skirt and the sleeves, where there are bunches of ropes, and I get why they must have had the horizontal bits along the arms and down the skirt to keep all the ropes in check and stop them all moving to one side, but I think it just leaves a really weird shape. I almost think they would have been better off bringing it just short at the front and having her wear trousers or leggings and having the ropes down the back or something, because I don't get what the skirt is doing, and it is such a shame. I've had to think about how to make it nonetheless, because I kind of want to make it, and I think it would take about 200 metres of rope. Yeah, maybe one day when I can justify doing that, but at the moment I just can't on an outfit where I get what they're going for, but I feel like they missed the mark and made a kind of amazingly hideous outfit, but hideous nonetheless. On to our third main character, of course, Jaskia. In total contrast to Geralt, I love that he obviously spends far too much time and money on his outfits, because that is so in his character. And I've had some people ask about how they would make or getting commissioned these outfits. There is actually so much detail in these that would make them such a pain. They look pretty simple, and the silhouettes are very simple. You've got that high waist and the high-waisted trousers, and you've got usually quite short, straight collars, set-in sleeves, sometimes with nice little shoulder bits that come out. But then we've got the details. We've got stitching, smocking, pleating, trims, contrast panels. I mean, if you want a peacock character, this is how you do it. Some of the bits are pleated and folded to show different colours, which is incredible. The shape, again, will be super easy to make, but the devil is in those details, and I think that you'd need to actually sit down and pattern some of those for a long time, because the details are made into the costume themselves. They're not added on in some of these cases. Although that does bring me into one thing that I absolutely love about The Witcher in general, which is the detailing in the outfits. Even for relatively minor characters, like the sorcerers, they all have gorgeous outfits, all of their own styles. You know, they've obviously gone through and thought this is what this person would wear. I mean, this cloak, I'm pretty sure this is gone after this little scene in the boat, but it's gorgeous. The forest people, the outfits are alien, they're innovative using what they've got. They're wonderful. I'd love to see some more stuff like that in the next seasons. It really fleshes out the world. It does slightly make them all a cosplayer's nightmare, because, you know, I don't want to sit there and sew on a few hundred bugle beads, but that's apparently what the costumers did, and, you know, hats off to them for that. In contrast, I guess that brings us to Nilfgaard. I mean, I do get it. They're meant to be less frivolous, they're meant to be more to the point, and so they look more uniform. But, oh, why? Why? I'm sure loads of people have gone on about the armour before. It's... yeah. I get they apparently wanted it to look really quite intimidating in nighttime. And it kind of does. It looks suddenly quite alien. I don't know whether that's necessarily intimidating. In daytime, it does just look unfortunate. They look a little bit like crinkly PVC. I don't actually know how I'd remake that if I wanted to. I dare say they made them and then cast them all with resins or, you know, plastics. I suppose you could make a set quite easily, making a basic foam base and then moulding something onto it, even like cork or foam clay or something. But I think for me that's just an interesting kind of thought exercise, because I don't think I'll ever want to make that. Same goes for the mages of Nilfgaard, which have these incredibly unflattering robes. They look padded, and they look incredibly shapeless. Now, I've always quite liked mage robes which show something of the form underneath, whereas, I mean, you can't really tell anything of the figure underneath in these, and I think they just look unfortunate. And I think they also look like they reduce arm manoeuvrability, like if you tried to move your arm too high, you'd be pulling the front of it up onto your own face. It feels a little like they've gone for a very stylised evil look, without necessarily thinking about the logical progression of how kind of a fashion or a culture would get there with their clothes. I do hope we're going to see a bit of a change for season 2 in that, really. Oh yeah, and Ciri is in season 1 as well, of course, yeah. I guess trousers are sensible, yeah, that's great. And I like her cloak, I like the kind of poofy sleeves. No, it makes sense that she's just got one outfit, it completely does. It's really nicely made, and big props to the weathering on that, because, yeah, although it starts looking very nice when she escapes, it does, after a while, look like she's been living in the woods and running away from people, which is fantastic. And I did like they had the bit about her running away in practical shoes. Otherwise, I am looking forward, though, to her getting some of her later looks, as we will no doubt see from season 2, so maybe she'll develop a bit more of an iconic look, because, I mean, at the moment, yeah, the runaway waif look is pretty much necessary for this season, but it's not very interesting. Well, yeah, so that's what I think of the costumes in The Witcher. Obviously, I could go on for ages about different characters, different costumes, and how to make different ones of them, and if anyone wants me to go into a specific one, I happily will. Generally, they're all quite simple to make in the basic shape. The devil really is in the details with them. For some, like I say, I would kind of just go for something close rather than go for exact, unless you're trying to do it for a competition, of course. Like my Yennefer dress, I'm just using a simple black dress rather than aiming for the exact pattern she has. I am really looking forward to seeing what season 2 gets, especially since I know that there has been a little bit of, shall we say, critique on the Nilfgaard costumes, so hopefully we might see something a bit more interesting there, and a bit, actually maybe less interesting more traditional? I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely worth keeping an eye out when you're watching The Witcher to look at all those gorgeous costumes. I hope you've liked the video, and if you like what I'm doing, please do consider supporting me on Patreon and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'd like me to rip apart the costumes of any particular series or game or film, please do comment, and I look forward to telling you exactly what I think. Other than that, have a good day. See ya!